Okay, we're gonna give this another go because I recorded it, but I forgot to turn on my audio. This time we're gonna do it for real. Audio's on, so I already have my scores filled in because I already did this, but whatever. We'll just use it that way. Okay, we'll start it off. Buffalo versus Indianapolis. As you can see, I have the Bills winning that one, and I don't think it's gonna be a close game at all. I think the Bills are just so much better than the Colts. I don't think there's any possible way the Colts make it past the divisional round. Indianapolis is just a pretty average team. I know they're 11-5, but they're just not good. They have no chance of beating the Bills. The Bills are flying right now. The Colts, they're not very good. I think they're very overrated. Although most people might think they're average, but Colts fans definitely think they're a top team. Absolutely not. Colts suck. They're not going to win. All right, Pittsburgh versus Cleveland. Cleveland's without their coach because he's got COVID. Cleveland didn't have a chance before that. In fact, this is my score prediction before that even happened. Listen, the Browns barely won with the Steelers resting starters. It took them to one of the last plays of the game to win the actual game. I mean, it's pathetic. I don't think there's any way the Cleveland Browns win a playoff game this year, especially against their division rivals. It's just not going to happen. Tennessee Ravens. All right, best matchup by far in Wild Card Weekend, in my opinion. Even though Lamar Jackson sucks, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I know the Titans' defense is one of the worst in the league, and the Ravens and Titans' offenses are pretty good, and the Ravens' defense is pretty good. Therefore, Titans are going to lose just because of their terrible defense. I think that's going to be the difference breaker in this game. And yeah, that's what we're going to give the Ravens. So they're going to move on to Kansas City. All right, we start with the NFC. We got the Saints and Bears. I know a lot of people predict this as a blowout. I think Chicago and New Orleans actually match up very well. I think Chicago's a better team than people give them credit for. They're going to lose the next round if they somehow make it through because they're going to have to go to Green Bay, who just whipped their ass. But Bears and Saints is going to be closer than a lot of people are thinking. Breeze, it's his last season. That's all we're going to hear about. So, yeah, he's going to win. I think the Saints are going to do very well in the playoffs this year. It's going to be a close game. And you know what I'd love to see is Nick Foles come out. 2 years ago, the Eagles and Saints played. Foles played for the Eagles. First of all, he beat an insane Chicago Bears defense on the road. And he goes to New Orleans in the Superdome. And they would have won, the Eagles. But Alshon Jeffrey screwed them over in the last drive of the game. All right, Seahawks, Rams. There are three teams that I think are not going to make it out of the wild card round. Like 100% are not going to make it out of the wild card round. Those are the Rams, the Browns, and the Colts. And I'm sorry, I know the Rams are a really good team, and I think it's going to be competitive. Most people expect it to be competitive, but I don't. I think the Seahawks are going to have control of this game from the start. The score looks close, closer than the game will feel. Goff, who knows if he's even going to play? He just got thumb surgery a week ago. Wolford is pretty average. Rams are in a bit of a slump. Yes, they just beat a terrible Arizona team with a hobbled Kyler Murray and the worst quarterback I've ever seen on an NFL field in Chase Strebler. So that's not much to be proud of. Yes, Arizona was playing for everything, but it's not much to be proud of. The Rams are just sloppy right now. The Seahawks are looking decent enough. Wilson will be back on fire. I think it's going to be an easy win for Seattle. Well, it's never easy in the playoffs, but as easy as a playoff game can get. Then finally, game, we've got the Washington football team versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the football team, they made a great run to the playoffs, but they're not going to win. Tampa Bay is just so much more talented than the football team. Football team does have some good players, such as Dwayne Haskins, Antonio Gibson, but Haskins is, he's pretty good for a good draft pick, but I don't think he's the guy to lead the football team to a playoff win. The Bucks, they're just looking pretty good. I don't like Arians at all. I don't think he meshes well with Brady, but as I said before, the talent of the Bucks is what gives them the edge. Football team's defense is really good. Their offense is pretty crappy. The Bucks have a really good offense and a pretty decent defense. I think the football team can hang close for a while, but eventually it's going to get out of hand. And our first real blowout in the wild card round is going to go to the Bucks over the Washington football team. All right, divisional round. Chiefs, Ravens. Start off with them. Oh, I pressed enter a lot here, didn't I? Kansas City wins this one. Why do they win? Well, Mahomes. I mean, it's that simple. They already played in Monday Night Football. I believe that game was in Baltimore, and Kansas City won that one handily. I remember because I was really mad after I lost my fantasy matchup due to Mahomes putting up something like 40 points. And I lost by 5. I was furious, especially with my team leading me down, letting me down. Sorry. The Ravens, like, how is their defense that bad? They're supposed to be great. And I think if there's one team that can knock out the Chiefs, it's the Ravens. With Joe Flacco, I think it would be a guarantee that they knock out the Chiefs or play right to the wire. With Lamar Jackson, I'm not sold on the guy. All right, I'm just not sold on him. He's shown an ability to choke. Last year versus Tennessee, he was dreadful. Last 2 years ago versus the Chargers, he was also terrible. And one of the worst playoff games I've ever seen. We needed Flacco in that game so badly, and Harbaugh just hung him out to dry. And I will forever hold a grudge on John Harbaugh for not putting Flacco in that game. He deserved to be in it. It was a chance in the Super Bowl that Flacco could have brought. Lamar Jackson could not have brought it that year. I'm still not sold on Jackson. He was clutch in the Browns game this year on Monday night, but I still am not sold on him. I've said it before. I think he's a choker. Really wish we could get the Jets to give us Joe Flacco. All right, Bills versus Steelers. Well, we know the Bills beat the Steelers earlier this year on Sunday Night Football, and this is going to be an interesting one. Here, I'll just show you the result. Got the Steelers winning this one on the last second field goal. Actually, no, never mind. Scratch that. I never said that. But the Steelers are going to win this one because, I'm sorry for the Bills, but they're just too hyped up. They're not going to beat the Steelers. The Steelers were one of the best teams in the conference until they somehow lost to the football team. But the Ravens actually played really well against them with Trace McSorley at quarterback, which is a joke. All right. So Steelers Bills. It's going to be a close game. And I don't know. I just feel like it just cannot be nice. Like something good cannot happen. The Buffalo Bills cannot make it far in the playoffs. That's just how I feel. They're a great team. Sean McDermott's a great coach, but I just think Pittsburgh's gonna win. And it's sad because the Bills really smacked the Steelers. They punched them in the mouth after Juju was doing his stupid logo dancing shit. I'd love to see it again, but Juju stopped dancing on logos. Well, what about that? A Steeler actually became self-aware. I mean, give them credit. I hate the Steelers with everything in my body, every fiber in my being. But I think they're going to beat the Bills here, and it sucks. All right, we got Packers versus 5 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers is next, and I've got the Packers winning this one in a close game. I think it's going to be a really good game. Tampa Bay already beat Green Bay on the road. Or excuse me, that was in Tampa Bay. Sorry. This one's going to be on the road for Tampa at Lambeau Field. And I've got the Packers winning it because Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady is going to be great, but that Packers team is so much better than the Bucks team. I think the Bucks are not completely together. Arians is still a bit of a mess. Bucks have looked really good in the last 4 weeks, but I do not think they're going to beat the Packers on the road. And I'm sorry, I think the Packers are a great team, but sorry, the Bucks are also a great team. Packers are the better team. All right, we're going to do the last one, Seahawks versus Saints. Drew Brees in his final season versus Russell Wilson. I think they've played once before in the playoffs in like 2013, and the Seahawks manhandled the Saints. That was a long time ago. That was in the Marcus Colston era. Now we've got Brees and the Hawks. Brees versus the Hawks again. And this is a tough one because it's Brees' final season, and the Seahawks are a very, very good team. So I think this is one of the closest games we're going to get in the playoffs. But in the end, I'm going to give this one to New Orleans in a very, very close game, 26-24, only because it's Drew Brees' final year. He's not going to blow it, is he? I know the Saints have been playoff chokers for so long. These past few years, they've gotten that reputation. They're not going to get it this time. Seahawks are going to lose to the Saints. Close game. Championships, we've got AFC Championship, Kansas City versus Pittsburgh. And I'm going to give the Chiefs this one, winning it in a shootout. 42-28, 6 touchdowns versus 4 touchdowns. So Chiefs win this one. It's going to be a great game, as shown right there with the score. But unfortunately, Kansas City is going to make another Super Bowl. 2 Super Bowls in a row for Kansas City. They are just too hard to beat, and especially with the added advantage of being the 1 seed, which is just so huge now, with there only being one team getting a bye. The last team that made the Super Bowl without a bye was 8 years ago, the Baltimore Ravens. 8 freaking years ago. Alright, that shows you something. The bye is pretty damn important if you want to make a Super Bowl. So sorry, I think this one's going to Kansas City for back-to-back Super Bowl appearances. Glad to have Pittsburgh out. No one likes the Steelers. Alright, we've got the Saints and the Packers. That's going to be tough, but I really think the New Orleans Saints are going to win this game. Drew Brees in his final year. I haven't said it enough, have I? I mean, the Saints are a great team. The Packers are a great team. And I think people are disrespecting the Saints a little bit recently. I think the Packers are a very good team, but they're just can't handle Brees with all the added emotion that's going to go into that Saints team with them knowing Brees, this is it. If we lose here, that's his final game. They want to bring him to that Super Bowl, and they're going to do it. And that's 2 straight conference championship losses for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. That's now San Francisco last year, New Orleans this year, although this one I don't think is going to be a blowout. He also got blown out by the Falcons a few years ago. That was one of the greatest games I've ever watched. So yeah, I think we're gonna get Kansas City and New Orleans in the Super Bowl. A 2018 MVP matchup. We got Mahomes versus Brees. Whoops, I don't want to show you the score. All right, you saw Kansas City put up 41. That's gonna be hard to top. Well, Chiefs, Saints, Super Bowl, great game. Brees, Mahomes, two okay defenses. Chiefs have really gotten better, and I'm gonna give this one to the Kansas City Chiefs, who go back to back. I just think they're going to outshoot the Saints. Saints are a really good team. We know that. Chiefs are just unreal, though. I think their only real loss was to the Raiders. I don't remember if they lost to the Chargers. Doesn't matter. They weren't playing their starters. Only the Raiders could beat them, and they beat them super late. So, yeah, this Chiefs team is just remarkable. It's going to be really hard to top them. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. That's just kind of sucks. Really boring. At least the Saints made it. Brings something interesting, but none of the all the top seeds went far. None of the low seeds really did anything. I hope I'm completely wrong, and I hope we get a Bears-Ravens Super Bowl. Or how about a football team Super Bowl? Football team versus Ravens. That would be great. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Peace out.